Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome, everyone. So glad to have you here. It's another amazing opportunity to connect with you here on Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Today, I thought I'd take some time to talk to you about really learning to tune in for yourself and getting your own answers in a process of really coaching yourself for peace, clarity, and joyful success. I would say that my path of unfoldment with my work in the world has been one where I have, impacted a lot of people's lives and had a level of success in creating a multi-six-figure business and all those sorts of things that I talk about. All those things are true. And yet the most important aspect is that I'm in the process of becoming more into my depth, into my deeper awareness, and increasing the awakenedness within my field, the awakenedness within my field. We have very busy brains. Our brains have fears, concerns, and questions a lot for most of us. And when we're not connected, we usually experience more thoughts and more chaos in our thinking, and therefore often it does translate into our lives. And one of the ways I neutralize that is by coming into a still space, even within that kind of chaos. I'm going to get into that more during the entire show here today. There is a way to approach things that will bring you greater, like I said, peace, clarity, and joyful success by coaching yourself, by taking the time, get more centered, connected, and doing actually a coaching process for yourself. And I just can't wait to dive in and share with you this process, because I don't think I've ever really shared it with anybody before in the depth that I will today. So I'm looking forward to sharing different techniques, different approaches, different ways of allowing yourself to deepen the awakened connection within yourself and experience, more peace, clarity, and joyful success, not only in business, but also in your life. Okay, we're going to get right into it in just one moment.
Want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today.
Okay, so how does this work? This idea of coaching yourself is something I adopted pretty early on when I got on the online space. And it's because of my background. My background was with taking time to meditate and tune in, and to do also what's called a visioning process, which was something that was introduced to me by Dr. Michael Beckwith. And we would utilize it at our church. Then I started utilizing it in my life. Then I started doing workshops for people on it, utilizing what he had taught, but also additionally, always, like when I teach other people's materials, what they've introduced, often I will add to it, and I always give credit, of course, to that person. Of course, I wouldn't share it if he had copyrighted the process. So often I was sharing it in the churches where we learned it, and then I would do a workshop on it, and I was like the visioning leader for a couple of churches. So, and people really, I guess, enjoyed the way I guided and led the processes, and I was a big, firm believer in it. And I think, my mind always thought, well, this is the way to get what we want, at the church or in my life or in my business. What I've found over the years is it's not necessarily like using these processes isn't always about getting the thing that you think in your mind that you're wanting to achieve or to have. And yet it's really much more about the connection being guided in a certain way in your life. There's so many ways to approach your life, right? You can go around thinking about how you're not good enough and try to fix that every single day by doing things you think will finally make you be worthwhile. And you could have a huge measure of what people call an outer success. And yet you're still very insecure, very feeling like the only way I can keep this going is by continuing to put fuel on the fire of how I'm not good enough. And then as I address that, then I see success. There's the idea that maybe you're content with your life, but now you got to motivate yourself. So now you're going to try to make that work. And maybe you could achieve success doing that. Again, an outer success. Maybe you experience some levels of fulfillment, joy, etc. Maybe even a little bit of peace here and there. Some joy, fulfillment for sure. Then there's, what I call awakened success, right? Awakened success. And what's that? Talked about these sorts of things for a while now. And that really has to do with, again, it's a way of being more than it's about like an outer thing. And I'm going to actually get into talking about coaching yourself here in a moment, but I want to help you understand the foundation of this coaching is about ultimately this connection, this state of being we want to live from and anchor ourselves in increasingly and deepen it. And so that we're able to show up in a world that is of contributory force to the awakening on the planet. That there's a natural rhythm and flow to life, right? That when we follow it, it produces a sense of well-being. That the sense of well-being is primary. The sense of how you feel is primary. And that the outer results that we strive for, more money, better relationships, improved health, whatever it might be, they may, those things are all secondary, because without the fundamental sense of well-being, we continue to feel we're always lacking. So when I talk to people who have a really, what most people would think are a very joyful, good life, but if they're constantly at one level, another level, looking at what's missing, they're not going to experience that deeper level of well-being that they're looking for. So they could have great health, they could have wonderful relationships, they could have great business success, they have wonderful amount of money, healthy bank account, investments, everything. But if part of them keeps feeling like, oh, wow, this is not nearly enough, they're not going to have that deeper sense of well-being, right? And even though they have all these structures there that are wonderful, they still are saying, yeah, but look at how I look, or look at how in this dynamic in my relationship, how it's not working, or look at how much more money I should be having by now. And the list goes on and on. And so I find people who are suffering, with not having good health or relationships or money or business success or whatever it may be. And the people who have more success, but devolve into these patterns of looking at lack and therefore don't experience their well-being, although they are different in a sense, at that foundational level, they're often can be quite similar still. So the idea with awakened success and coaching yourself to awaken success, basically by saying peace, clarity, and joyful success, I guess Maybe we should have changed the title of the program today as I'm saying this, but the idea again is the primary thing, which is the well-being. People say, yeah, but we need to achieve a lot of things in order to bring this state of well-being to the world, and that's utter insanity. If we're not starting with our own state of well-being, as you know, then how are we going to bring that to the world? There's always the idea something else needs to be achieved to survive and to thrive. We have to get it done, and we better get it done right, better get it done immediately, or we're going to be failures, or we're not going to survive. And those tenets are the things we suffer from, those foundational concepts. So as we're talking about coaching yourself today, I could do a whole show on just what I've talked about already, right? But as we're looking at questions we might have about our own life, we want to make peace with where we're at, and from that peace, add onto ourselves the sense of clarity about what wants to unfold. And therefore, it will lead us to a path of joyful success, whether our minds think we're sufficient or not. Even in the midst, not always, but even in the midst of me having joyful success in my life and in business, etc., my mind can jump in and say, yeah, but it can do that quite regularly, even at times. So not to make it wrong, because there's things to pay attention to there. It's not right. It's not right or wrong. It is actually can be helpful to take a look at the yeah buts, because maybe it's pointing to something that needs some attention, of course. But yet, when it's a constant loop, what we can do to collapse that loop is to allow ourselves to get more into that deeper connection and to do the processes that I'll share with you today. So what are some of the things you can do? Just to give you an idea of what I do to collapse those loops, and to start developing that practice so you can really deepen your awakened connection, and in that sense be nourishing yourself, or as I've talked about recently, like really fully focused on, I say loving yourself, but it's really bringing yourself into this awakened connection. So let's say I have a question in my mind. Let's say like I just went on a vacation. I'll share vulnerably to definitely to a point. I don't need to, share absolutely every detail of my life, but I went on a vacation recently, and it was what it was, right? Of course, it was all wonderful. My mind could judge if it was good or bad, right, in different ways. But went on a family vacation, family getaway to other family members and see my grandkids and stuff. So and we did some things like go to bush gardens and things like this. And so it was great. And then I had my birthday, and there's the so-called, my mind could say this was good, that was bad, on my birthday, but it was great. And so I experienced this joyful success in my life. But then as I get home and I come back into the office, which just happened yesterday, actually, after being gone for a while, my mind, as I was gone, my mind's been thinking about like bigger aspirations, so to speak, and bigger dreams I've had for a long time. Whatever happened to the guy that said he'd be on Oprah like overnight, many years ago, like you're going to get there overnight, and was in that sort of mode, perhaps a very egoic mode, but a more ambitious sort of focus. And so what happened to that? Was it all ego? Is there something to this perpetual feeling that many of us have that we're supposed to make this huge impact? We have to be these world leaders, and we're going to change the whole world kind of idea, something along these lines. Is there some reality or truth to that for you, for me, for everything? So when we have these perpetual questions, they nag at us. we want to have processes to help us to come to peace, clarity, and joy, right? And let the success unfold from that state. And again, there's a lot of other ways of accomplishing things in the world. You can definitely operate out of anger and accomplish a lot of things. And then you get that sense of satisfaction that justice was brought to something, or justice was brought to you, or now you're proving something. But that's usually not entirely long-lived, right? The most lasting sense of fulfillment and success for yourself and all is going to come from coming from peace, coming from a deeper connections in the first place. It's going to cultivate that awakeness. So when I have a question like that, I'll say, okay, let me go into my guidance and see what's coming up. Now, there's different ways of doing that. So people like to do muscle testing. So you would do a muscle testing. I don't do muscle testing anymore necessarily. Every once in a great blue moon at the most, I would do it. But you got like the arm pushing up, down on arms. And so most people do the finger method, where you close the loop of, like, let's say on your left hand, you put your index finger and your thumb together. And you say, okay, now is my name Dan? Okay. And then if it goes all the way through, like, okay, if I establish like, okay, it's going to stay, okay, this is my yes, or you, first of all, actually, you could do, I haven't done it in a while. So you can say, is my yes, like when the fingers stay together. Okay, let's say we say that's what it is. All right, okay. We want to establish that first, by the way, because otherwise it gets kind of confusing. Okay, when it's a no, it's going to go right through. And when I put my, because you put, I'm sorry, I didn't fully explain this. So you put your index and thumb together on your right hand, you do it on your left hand, but you want to open up your right hand, thumb and index finger, and then put it, intertwine it around the other one, right? So if you're watching on the camera, you'll know this. Many of you already know about this technique. So, but yeah, if you can see this on video, you know what to do. You basically put that index finger in your right hand, and then put that thumb on that index finger and close it within the other circle you made with your index finger and thumb on your left hand. In this case, I'm doing it for me. Okay, and then you just pull. Okay, so when I pull and it opens, that's a no. When I pull and it stays strong, it's a yes. Okay, so I could ask, okay, and this is a little game we play with our mind, but it brings peace. It can bring peace to us, and it can help us to deepen our awakening overall. So I could ask a question like, oh, okay, my mind's really curious. So am I meant to lead millions of people like all at once in this lifetime? I'm supposed to be like Gandhi or Jesus, or, whatever, like, I don't know, whoever it is for you. Like, those are two names that come to my mind. Am I meant to do that in this lifetime? So I want a yes or a no. Let's just do it. Okay. Now I'm getting a yes. I'm getting a yes. Now that's exciting to me, right? So like, oh, wow, that's yes. Okay. Then my mind might be like, yeah, but why hasn't it happened already? Why does it seem like my life really isn't on that track at all yet? And all the ideas that we have, right? Although I've reached quite a number of people over the years, it's a very, very small number compared to so many other people, and all those ideas, Temple of Babel. Okay, so but that's the sense of guidance. I focused on this in a hard and concentrated way, starting today. Goes right through. It just feels completely not true right now. Is this unfolding in its own organic, natural way over a period of years or even more? I'm getting a yes on that. Okay, great. Is there something I need to be aware of about that right now? No, there's nothing for me to be aware of other than it's there. Now, the part of me that's anxious about getting it accomplished is like, oh, but just just sitting here doing nothing about it just seems so ridiculous. Let's just do something. Let's just do something. Okay, should I just do something? Get over it. I get a no, right? So from awakened presence, now the motivator inside of ourselves would try to just make it happen. I would start doing everything I'd write a book, maybe I go march on Washington for peace or something, or I would inspire, tons of people to want to bring healing to all our governments and all these things. Like I have so many ideas I could put into motion, right? Am I supposed to start doing those things starting right now? I get a no right away. Okay. So then what's the answer? Now I'm doing it through muscle. I don't normally do, but I'm doing it for the audience today because it is a valid way to do it. The way I do it is I have a strong, if you do know about human design, I have a strong sacral authority. So I can just ask my sacral chakra, is this a yes or a no? And it'll work just more or less the same, right? But those that don't have that, something like muscle testing can be a very quick way of getting those answers and really help you with that, okay? This is a way I'm coaching myself. Rather than like, I go to a coach and pay a coach, which is great. Like they're going to give me perspectives I'm not going to get by coaching myself. So I want to do that. I want to get support from others and mentoring and guidance and whatnot, but I do it myself. What are the answers I'm getting? Okay. So are there smaller steps I'm meant to take right now to allow this to happen? I get even a no on that. So I get no on everything other than it's meant for this lifetime. It is going to happen. It's going to happen organically. Part of me feels good about that. Like when I'm honest about how I feel about it, part of me feels at peace with it. Another part's like, no. So often what we call this aspect is that pusher energy, right? I got to push it. I got to make it happen. What, you're going to make me just sit here? Okay. So so this part of me that's fierce that just like, no, let's do it now. Okay. What am I? So my question is, if I was literally going to another person, asking them to coach me intuitively on this, be like, what do you want me to do about that? What do you want me to do about that? Like, what is the guidance you're getting on that? And then we can, then what we can do is to start coaching ourselves. Like I can get centered, I can close my eyes, I can channel angels and guides and whatnot. We can do that sort of thing. That'd be a whole class in itself. But one of the fastest ways to just get that answer is just to start talking to yourself about it as though you're channeling from the higher guidance, right? If you don't know how to channel higher guidance, it's not a program to do that fully today at all. But if you just get a sense of being connected even with one of those guides, like, and let them speak through you just quickly, and like you don't even know if it's them speaking, but you let the sense of wisdom to come from them, that's one way. Or just talk out loud, just make it up, like the from your sense of connection with source, just wisdom about that. So what I'm getting is like an answer to my question about everything. It's like, dear one, you are the beloved, in which you are always well pleased. Come back home to the arms of the infinite, knowing you are always well. This is part of what you're coming into a deeper realization of even now. Trust this is enough, for ultimately it is your message. Thank you. So now when I tune in to how I feel about it, I feel completely a sense of almost complete peace. Like I feel really peaceful now. That energy is still a little bit there, but I feel much more at peace because I got into that energy of just acceptance and of what is the truth about it all. And that's what we want. We want to be into that connection. Okay, so I could be like, okay, great. That sounds great. I'm just so grateful to be at peace with that. Thank you for sharing. And yet, I guess my other concern would be, the mind always has its complaints or concerns and worries. I got lots of other questions. Okay, so to deal with those things, rather than just try to ignore them and just like, okay, I'm just going to be in presence, so I'm just going to forget about it. But the questions keep being there. May as well go do an inquiry process and see what wants to come through to help deepen you into your connection and presence. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I keep saying that I'd like to see even more business success than I currently have. I want to take it to the next level. All right. So what wisdom do you have to share with me about that? Okay. I feel like I'm supposed to be, figuring things out, doing these big launches. And, is that meant for me? I get no immediately. Okay. The other feeling I've been getting is just to be almost as lazy as possible and just follow my inspiration. And is that the way for me? I get no. I get a no right away on that. Okay. All right. Is there some sort of dynamic blend of these two ways of being that is going to create the greatest sense of wholeness, wellness, and well-being for me and business success? I get a yes. It's a very clear yes. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Do I do well to have specific numbers and goals to focus on each week? I get a quick no about that. Okay, great. So even if I've asked these questions in the past, like I can ask them again. I can do it through the muscle testing, or in this case, I'm just asking yes or no, and then an answer comes through. Okay. Would I do well to just tune in the moment each day and in every moment and just kind of follow what's true? And if something really clear as a focus comes in for me, to just go with that. I get a yes. And to just let everything kind of be as it is. Otherwise, being this connection, playing with the connection, and trusting that's enough. Is that the way to be? I get a yes. Yes. Is it possible I've been being guided to just continue to just serve people that already have established businesses, that are light leader type of people, spiritual entrepreneur people, and building really strong relationships with more and more of those people, growing more business in this way, even on a one-to-one level? Is that part of the path for me to continue on right now? Get a yes. There's a little wiggly niggly feeling. Okay, what's the wiggly? So I can ask that feeling, even say, what are you trying to tell me? This wiggly niggly. Oh, that isn't going to be quite fun enough. And maybe you're just playing small. Maybe you're just laying low because of some BS reason. We don't even know what it is. Okay. All right. Is that true? I hear yes. I'm hearing yes, no. But is that absolutely true? It's not absolutely true. Okay. All right. And then what would I? Okay. So if it's not just one-to-one, I'm kind of hearing it's one-to-one and more right now, this time. I've done all kinds of, right? I've done one-to-one. I used to just do groups, high-level groups. I've done a variety of things. Okay. So should I do these higher level groups? Like I've been doing energy scan certifications. Should I continue with those right now? No, I get no. Just don't continue with those right now. Okay, great. So just okay, but it was so much a part of my path in the past. I had a whole academy around it. Why was that? Tell me more. To help you to fulfill your destiny, you've opened others to enormous new possibilities, to recognizing the infinite connection with all. Now your purpose is much more unique and specific. To those that are already on the rise. Let this be your truth and be at peace. Thank you. Okay, great. So part of me is wondering, well, I did these energy scan trainings and certifications for years and got guidance not to do them anymore. And that my mind will come back and say, well, why do we let that one go? There's a lot of good happening there and everything. And so being okay, just go ahead, chill out from that. Okay, so I could ask a question. I'd be, well, what do you mean more specific? Whatever, I don't even remember all what it says, but it's the specific kind of purpose. So what is the specific purpose? To be at peace, serving those already on the rise. To find their own deeper connection. To awaken to higher and greater possibilities for their lives and for the lives of those they serve. You align them with their deeper truth. Land them. The vibrational connection allows all to unfold greater success more rapidly for a higher good for all, with greater peace, clarity, and joy. Let it be enough. Thank you. Okay, great. So then I feel more peace around that. I'm like, oh, okay, that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm up to. So it's almost like a confirmation of what I know. But having a confirmation, just like in an actual coaching session we get from somebody, is so helpful because now we can just be at peace with that aspect. Okay, so another thing I'm beginning is the idea of doing small groups for these light leaders, for these spiritual entrepreneur types. Is that a part of my mission right now? I'm getting yes. Okay, great. I'm getting to offer a retreat, perhaps in October. Is that aligned? I'm getting yes. Is that meant to be online or in person? Getting in person. Okay. Is that meant to be here in my local area here in Chicago, or is that somewhere else? Getting Chicago. Okay. Okay. How many people how many souls are wanting to attend? Get 5. Okay. So, all right. What's the invitation? Is it a work with me? Is it a mastermind, or is it both? I get both. Okay. So some of these questions I've already asked before. I'm just getting confirmation again. And then, okay, great. And then I could charge nothing. I could charge, tons of money for people to come for this event, because it's what, a 2-day event or a 3-day event. Okay. 3-day happening. Yeah. Is there an investment? If so, how much? Yes, there's an investment. I've been saying, well, what about $1,500? It's deep. It's just a few people. Getting no. Getting okay. Is it $997? I get a yes. I get sort of getting the vibe around it's only for this round. So I'm just making it up, guys. So I'm just doing a certain amount of this today to just demonstrate how you can coach yourself. Like I'm just tuning in and I'm just making it up as I go along in a way. Like I am connected. I am sort of channeling it. It is my guidance. It is what I'm sort of hearing, feeling, sensing for 100%. But it's like I'm just sitting here waiting for an answer. It's just a sense of clarity comes through me. And then there's my answer. So is focusing on this and one-to-one clients sufficient for my business right now? I get a really clear yes on that. Okay, great. Sometimes I wonder like how to best invite these people into my work. Can you share more about that with me? I'm just hearing that it's through speaking opportunities, interviews. What else am I hearing right now? Networking. So some networking. Okay. Speaking on other people's stages. That's it. So that's amazing. Like, okay, interviewing and being interviewed. Yeah. Okay. And then speaking on stages. Are they in person? Yes. Are they online stages? Yes. Okay. And then, yes. So, and then there was one other one, right? The networking. All right. So there we go. So is there anything else that I need to focus on right now as an outreach to serve people, et cetera? No, I'm just getting a really clear no. So it's just a no. So within this period of time, sharing some wisdom with you to start the show, and then even talking about how to navigate this whole thing of doing this coaching for yourself, because there's more and more ways, by the way. I mean, there's other ways you could do it, but this is a primary way. I've spent these are questions that if I don't answer them and I just hope it'll figure itself out somehow without doing a process like this, then I could just feel like I feel like I'm lost, right? Feeling a sense of non-well-being because I didn't ask to get for the answers. Like, just ask for the answers from the ultimate source. It's aware of everything. Now, the trick can be like, okay, now there's more questions I'll ask. I could ask, well, how much should I be reaching out and everything? But I was already given the answer, like, go with the flow. If there's a specific amount to do in a specific period of time of doing this or that, let it occur to you more than like feeling like you have to chase that, be more in the moment. So can I trust that to be enough? I get yes. So that's a good start. And I always look at these things as a good start, as a great start, as an amazing start. And then new information, new details may come in. I may get a whole different direction may come to me. I mean, it's possible. But right now, this is what I know to be true. And so coming to peace and understand this is enough. This is your truth at this particular point in time is worth so much, right? It's so helpful. And so this is part of what I like to do is I help other people too. It's like that's what I do is even though they're tuning in, they often want me to tune in as an intuitive business coach, a guide to their life, etc. It's like I'm just tuning in together with you. Let's tune into what wants to happen so you can have the peace, clarity, and joyful success you're looking for. And this is a way you can do it. And I know I'll be sharing this with my clients to check this out. And I know my clients already do things like this, but I may share it again anyway and be like, okay, how you doing with this process, right? So just asking these questions. Okay, so can you make a commitment to yourself? And I'll double down on my own commitment. Can we make a commitment to ourselves to employ this practice regularly or daily? Daily when you're working your business, let's say, even or whatever, or maybe every single day in some kind of way. Okay, the answer is yes. And it could take 15, it could be like 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be whatever length that feels true, right? And so what we could each do, and I haven't done this formally in a long time, we could just put it in our schedule. We could just schedule it, just schedule it each day. 15, 20-minute meeting, because that's all it took me to get some really important answers today. You could do it throughout the day. You can do it anytime. Your source is your coach, all day long. So you can ask at any time. So you can have fun doing this any way you want. If you want to ask specific guides or angels or beings and whatnot, you can do it that way too. There's so many ways you can do this. I'm just here to encourage you to do it. I'm here to re-encourage myself to do even more of it than I already do, so that we don't have to suffer from the sense of like, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know which way to go. This will provide you that sense of guidance. So for most of you, this will be sufficient and will definitely bring you new results, a new peace, a new clarity, and new joyful success. And maybe for some of you, it's not quite totally landing, and that's okay too. If that's the case, feel free to ask any questions in the comments below, if assuming that you're listening somewhere where you can do that. If not, you can always reach out to us at yoursacredpurpose.com. I'm so grateful to share with you today. Go ahead and check us out at yoursacredpurpose.com. Get your meditate, make money meditation. That definitely helps with this sort of thing as well, getting your answers each day through the meditation, or you can ask those questions in a connected space. Makes it easier. So go to yoursacredpurpose.com for that. And I'm just looking forward to continue to be with you. So thanks for tuning in today. Make the commitment to do this process for yourself, this sort of process for yourself each day, and watch the results unfold. Lots of love and blessings to you all. Keep on tuning in. I'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Goodbye for now. Listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.